Welcome to Movie and Beer, everybody. This is Dan Kapersky bringing us in. And on a wonderful evening, we have some awesome co-hosts with us.
You got Blake, the Western expert.
Randall, the family man.
Yeah.
Family man film fan.
Yeah, this No Shave November, or Movember, as some people like to call it.
Looking good, Dan.
We are definitely sticking with
shaved.
it. So, you shave. You still have facial hair, though.
Well, yeah, but I trimmed up all the side stuff. It looks terrible.
Yeah,
I don't grow full beards well, which is a bummer.
Yeah, it happens.
I've just been too busy to actually shave, so I can just letting it grow.
You can claim. So we decided to pick out movies and shows for this month that have beards in them. And this would be a film that definitely does have it. And it is a brand new Western that just got released a month or two ago. And it's called
Old Henry.
Old Henry. But
Such
before
a
that,
good Western name.
can I do a shout out to Migration Brewing?
I like this idea. Go for it.
I haven't been to the one on Williams in Migration. They have a brew. They have a. Is it just a restaurant, Dan?
Yes, it's just a restaurant. They don't do production there.
But dang, the food's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the West Coast IPA, the straight out of Portland.
Nice stuff.
That was my beer of the week. Do you guys have
Nice.
a beer of the week that you've had this week that you've just loved?
Mine would be the one that's in front of Blake, which just
What is
actually came from Migration, called Beer for Deer.
What? It came from Migration?
Yeah, we just had dinner
Weird.
there. Yeah. I was
That's
like,
so
yeah, we
weird.
just ate there.
We didn't plan this.
Yeah, we did not, but it worked out.
Their
Well,
food is good. It's like well priced.
Yes,
You
it's not
know,
expensive.
it's not expensive,
It's
and
not
it's
a crazy place,
It's quality.
and their service
Yeah.
is pretty quick.
Their service is
and-
great.
So yeah, you have to order at the counter. But what else is new?
I'd love to watch a movie there sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to them, figure it out, or one of their other awesome locations because they have four
They have four.
locations. Yes, there's one way out on the east side,
Oh, wow.
one downtown, and one on the southeast off of Sandy and 28th, I believe, something around there.
We'll have to check them out.
Yep, they got lots of places. Good beer, good food. Check 'em out.
Migrationbrewing.com.
The movie Old Henry, it's a Western.
Do, 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 do. Nope, that ain't it. No,
Mine-
it's a pretty straight up Western. It's I think we talked about this before. We're not doing spoilers for this one because this movie kind of relies on a lot of big reveals to pay off what you see in the beginning. But
Right.
boy,
That's kind of a spoiler saying that we're not going to do spoilers. So now they're going to be expecting something at the end.
well, yeah, every movie has
It
an
is.
ending, Randall,
Yeah.
unless it's bad.
Unless you're a series
True.
like Star Wars and you can just keep going and going
Right.
and going.
Unless
and no
you're
one
The
cares.
Room.
Yeah, this is true
Right.
too.
Oh, man.
Not to be confused with Room, because Brie Larson's incredible. It's a really sad book. Anyway,
Yeah.
Tim Blake Nelson plays the lead, though.
Yes.
This disgruntled, worn-down farmer raising his kid alone. I think they said his wife died 10 years prior.
Yes, she died of a disease.
His character in this movie is the exact opposite of Delmar O'Donnell from Oh Brother, We're Out There.
Which
We're Out-
IMDb does not consider a Western.
Really? I mean, I get
Well, I
it.
mean, it's
a
not, but it has the
Western.
same sepia
It's
tone.
got-
It's
yeah.
old-timey, but
Yeah,
it's
but he was
set in
also-
that time frame,
It's of
but
the
it's not a
same era.
Western.
Wasn't he also in the
Scruggs. Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs as a character in that,
Right.
which was
yeah.
also sort of a Western, but not really.
I mean, IMDb considers it a Western.
there you
He's
go.
one of those Coen. He's in that stable of Coen brother actors.
But this was not done by the Coen brothers. This was done by
This was done by a director whose name is really fun to say.
It
It's
is so much
Potsy
fun.
Ponciroli. Mm-hmm. Ponciroli. Potsy. 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 I like that name.
I read a thing that he spent a lot of time writing and figuring out how to do this film, and got some amazing actors as someone who's only done a couple of pieces before this to act in this really interesting story.
I love Westerns. The thing I love about Westerns is that they all take place on the edge, right? The edge of civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never in a big city. It's always those small
Right.
towns where they've got no one watching out for them.
Then it wouldn't be a Western.
Maybe in the West.
That's kind of in the definition of the type of movie.
I don't appreciate the sass coming my way, sir.
Is this technically this isn't really a Western though because it was filmed in the South?
All right.
Tennessee?
It was
Dan,
Tennessee-ish?
put in ADR of me
Tennessee?
getting up and leaving in a huff.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Stop.
we did read that it was filmed in Tennessee, but it takes place in the Midwest, lower Midwest, Kansas,
Oklahoma territory.
Yeah.
Okay, so near, next,
right.
next to
Frank-
Kansas, basically the same thing.
It was on
Frankly,
the edge.
that's it's west of actual civilization, which is the East Coast.
right,
In
right.
Late 1800s.
1906.
Okay.
Right.
Pretty much. You're
just
pretty
like-
much there.
Just at the edge where the Native American population was starting to like really disappear.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which we saw none of in this film.
We
None.
saw a Mexican.
There was
who they
one-
kept referring to in a derogatory way. That wasn't great.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're sticking to the period, and that was the reality of it.
And they weren't gross about it, which is
it was what it was, and the main character also spoke Spanish. That's the only plot spoil I'm gonna give.
that Spanish is a language in this movie. Oh
Yes,
no!
oh my God.
Yes.
And at least they had minor subtitles when he spoke it, so you kind of knew what he was
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
And it's important that you know that the main character speaks Spanish because it makes a difference later.
Well, what I really like about this movie, Dan, you keep circling the spoiler. Knock it off. Is the tone it's slow, it's deliberate. You get a lot of the countryside, which is even in the John Wayne like epic westerns, you get just beautiful landscapes of the mountains as he's galloping by, and then speaks that ridiculous drawl.
Yeah, he had a funny accent. I couldn't quite
I'm
place it.
Genghis Khan, Pilgrim. How would you not change? Okay, I'm getting off
Tim
topic.
Blake Nelson was saying that, he's done a lot of comedies.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, like, he really had to play down this part. And I think with most Westerns, when you're the lead, you really have to play down the part if you want it to be good. Because it's really easy to go over the top and be the cowboy, right?
That kind of matches with Clint Eastwood in the Fistful of Dollars trilogy.
Yeah.
He was kind of almost a straight man, all these wild characters running around.
There's a couple of big formulas that I kind of thought about. TV Western and then film Western. Film Western tends to be a little bit different than the TV Western tropes.
How so?
You're rescuing someone inevitably in both.
Yeah.
Right.
The people you interact with are different in the TV shows because they're either repetitive characters or they're just one-offs that it's hard to just drop somebody in and out of a TV series versus a movie can just throw just people around and you don't really
Right.
care because you see them once you're done.
Yeah.
TV shows, you're going to ask about that because you're like, oh, we're seeing you over and over and over. What I liked about this film was it was sort of in the vein of a TV show. Like I said, while we were watching it, this feels like an old Western TV show like Gunsmoke or something.
My favorite Western on TV right now is The Mandalorian.
I mean, no, it is. A lot of people have said it falls in that category.
It definitely
it
feels like a
follows
Western.
Lone
100%.
Gunman,
Right.
Fringes of Society. Weren't you telling me about Yellowstone?
Yellowstone is also really popular on Netflix.
I don't know if
believe.
it's Western, but I've heard if you like Westerns, you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
I'll
current
check
day,
that
though.
out.
It's
I
current
like
day.
that a lot of my favorite Westerns weren't actually filmed in the United States. And it's such an American genre, and the best ones were made like in
Well, I mean,
Italy, and
Italy
Spain.
and Spain.
Yeah, I must say, spaghetti westerns.
Right. The
Whole
Good, the Bad, and the
blood of
Ugly.
them just coming out of Italy, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
knock them all out, send them over. God, love them.
So the premise of the film is you have this guy who's a farmer and his young teenage son, probably 14, 15.
Which in that time basically makes him an adult.
He's an adult at that point. He's ready to leave. He tells the father, I'm ready to leave. You don't need me. I'm out of here.
You ain't ready, boy.
Exactly. And that's the response is you're not ready. And I think the father really sheltered the kid as much as he could. I don't know. Did he homeschool him? Because obviously there's a town nearby, but...
Well, I think what I got was that he was trying to protect his son from the modern world, because I will plot spoil a little bit at the end where the main character says that, he wasn't made for this world, this modern world. Go out there and, do your thing or whatever.
Such a good line.
Yeah. And so I think he was trying to protect his son from what he saw.
You can't
from
escape
his past.
You can't escape your murderous past.
Right.
In the
Yeah.
West, anyway.
Right.
There aren't that many people, and while it is a big open giant range, you got to live somewhere
Yeah.
near something. So
Right. When you run into somebody, they know somebody, and next thing you know everybody.
And that's exactly what happened.
The other characters who showed up just described a guy vaguely, and he matched everything exactly.
Exactly.
It's been said to be handsome, blah, 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 and he cut back to him. I thought, he is handsome.
So your thoughts on the son? So the son's character, total jerk to the dad, just ignores everything he's told because he's like, I know better. I can do it myself because I'm an adult. Well, lo and behold, you're not.
Right.
Well, great way to learn is to do it and get hurt.
Yeah, and he did a few times.
He was really sheltered by his dad, and I don't think it served him really well. No. But, I think I went into this film, first few scenes, just waiting for the son to get shot and killed.
Like up front, or
just
shoot himself.
Just shoot it, just get out of here. You're annoying me.
I feel like not lesser director, a director who didn't have the vision that Potsy had would have had the son killed and then the farmer go on some kind of rampage.
Right.
That's a fairly traditional trope.
My
the
quote,
the Takens, if you will.
My quote from the film is, "Do as I say, boy, or I'm gonna crack that crust."
Crack your crust. I had that saved in my phone. I was like, "What is crack your crust?" Oh yeah, what a great thing to say.
It's like, how do I cuss? And so this is, we're going to start using things like ferment as our curse words because we are trying to be.
It was fermenting amazing.
Yes.
Do you guys have a favorite Western?
Ooh, can I have? It's tough.
Yeah.
It's either Blazing Saddles or the newer 310 to Yuma with Russell Crowe
Yeah.
and Christian
We watched
Bale.
that.
Those are good. I
The,
mean,
the original's so good, but this other one just it goes in a whole different direction.
Yeah.
And Blazing Saddles, come on, it's
Right.
Mel Brooks.
film wise, yes, I'd agree. But TV wise, and again, I'm looking at this like an extended TV episode because it was presented very much like a TV episode would be presented in how it was done in very short parts.
Right.
The characters came in, had a role. They then referred back to them later on, and that was it. I mean, and no special effects. Everything was practical. This was as old school Western as you could get.
People got legitimately shot.
You can
Yeah.
tell the director knew what he was doing because here's a pro tip: whenever you're making a low budget film, keep the location simple.
As simple as possible.
One location,
Yep.
as much, and that's what they did. They found
Yeah.
They found a little home, like this little homestead outside of Nashville, and they shot most of it there, I think, right, and
Yeah.
then in the woods. But my favorite, I think, Good and the Bad and the Ugly,
Ugh,
amazing.
so good.
But The Revenant, Leonardo DiCaprio, I consider that a Western. I mean,
I need to
It's
watch
a survival. It's a survival
it's,
Western.
yeah, it's a survival sort of mountaineer.
The bear wears a cowboy
Yeah,
hat.
I mean
Yes.
that bear scene. Oh my god, crazy! And it wasn't filmed in the United States.
Yeah,
it
there you
was
go.
filmed in Argentina.
I don't think I've watched any Western TV shows.
I grew up on them. I had a black and
Nice.
white TV for many years until my parents let the kids splurge and help pay for cable, and then we got a color TV.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
Ooh la la.
I was old school growing
Mr.
up.
Color
Nice.
TV over
well,
here.
it's just because my parents were cheap and we didn't have a lot of money. So.
Here's what I loved about this movie: the colors were amazing. Right?
They were very
They
sepia
really-
in some
yeah,
parts and
Yeah.
very blue in
very
others.
blue and green.
A very
and-
great
yeah.
color palette.
But what I hate, and that most westerns get this wrong, too clean.
There was so much cleanness.
Just like it was too clean. Like that shit's not clean back then, man.
We-
like
Nah.
everything's
You,
dirty.
you get
There are-
one bath a month, and by the time the mother, father, and the 3 older kids have gone in, you're getting in there. It's just brown.
right.
Like, why am I even getting in this?
Exactly. They were very clean people. The dude's boots, he
I
comes in
keep a clean house, boy.
He comes in after being in the field with the horse doing shit, and his boots are clean. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but there's a continuity. This is a minor continuity issue, but still, I'd agree. I have a problem with that as well because I was pointing it out. I'm like, what the hell's boots are clean? The floor is clean.
Well,
Their
guys,
teeth
it's
are
way
clean.
too
I'm like,
clean.
what do they brush their teeth?
no, it's cool. It evened out when they pulled out his iPhone. It was filthy.
There you go.
Well, this was a really great film, but it had a like tinge of like B moviness to it. It was
Yes.
like it felt like it was.
It was made directly for a streaming
Yeah,
service.
exactly. And so I went to the website Shout Studios, the people that produced it, and let me just tell you some of the names of other films they produced, and you tell me if we're gonna watch these next. Teenage Vampire,
No.
Well, who's in it?
Teenage Girl, Valerie's Holiday, Little Vampire,
Great.
Maya and the Bee 3,
Well, that sounds fun.
Dark Stories. Oh, how about this one? Hail to the Deadites? Deadites? Hail to
Deadites?
The Deadites. Like, just like look at some of these.
Fear and Loathing in Aspen.
Like, these don't look like great movies.
That's fully just
They
stealing
look-
from Star Wars and Stranger Things.
Yeah.
They look
it-
directly straight to video.
straight
All of them.
straight to video, and yet somehow they made this really good film.
All right,
Like,
for the younger listeners, video used to be a way you could watch movies at home. Now it's straight to streaming service.
right.
Yes, same thing. That's what
Dan
we're
did say
referring
he
to.
used to have a black and white TV that his
Yes.
dinosaur brought in.
Yes. I don't have one anymore. I do have color LCD and
Yeah, you're
fancy
making
TVs.
yeah,
now.
you're making up for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
But they did. I think they did a good job. They did a good job with this movie.
What do you guys think about the music, though? It was very
yeah.
secondary. They used it really well. I said this sounds like any Japanese
yeah.
samurai movie ever.
Totally.
Which I
'Cause
thought worked considering it's really focused on a single lone person.
It's like really heavy bass, like bassoon, oboe, really heavy single, just kind of
Droning,
really droning
sound.
it in.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they didn't really use it for any other parts other than there was a couple of chasings. At least we didn't have xylophones in this one.
Right. Xylophones.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It actually made
Evil
me
Dead chase scene had xylophones. That's all I'm
Did- were
saying.
there xylophones?
That was xylophones.
xylophones and or bongos.
Yes.
The bongos, yes.
It's a very
my
Hanna-Barbera
gosh.
move.
Hey, one location, Evil Dead, right?
Yeah, one location.
Great film.
It's on it.
Oh my gosh. Well, do we have? What are we doing? Let's do some trivia.
Do a break.
Trivia?
Do some trivia.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys know how many. I want you guys to guess how many westerns that Tim Blake Nelson, the lead, has been in. Because I think we tried this last time. We were all way off.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I'm going to say at least a dozen, if not more.
I'm gonna guess 5.
Are you looking at IMDb?
No, I'm
Because that's
not.
what it says. This is his 5th.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Because it's not
Wow.
counting. Dang it, the singing one. Oh brother, where art thou?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Fun trivia about that. It's basically the Odyssey, but the Coen brothers had never read the Odyssey.
Oh yeah. I heard.
So I
read
think they
that.
took it from like just other popular media doing it.
I tried to read the Odyssey. It wasn't.
That's
it was-
hard to read.
Yeah.
I've
That's
read
hard to read.
chunks of it.
Yeah.
I've seen the Animaniacs spoof it.
Yeah, there you go. That's all that matters.
But yeah, his other ones are Holes, classic for Blake as a kid. Homesman,
Don't worry about
the TV miniseries Klondike,
it.
and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yes.
This being the 5th one, which he feels like he has the face to be in westerns.
He does.
Even if not the lead, then like the general store manager or the local dentist. Like, you can't go fight Black Bart. He'll kill you. If he kill me, he kill me. And they just goes and does the draw. And of course, the good guy wins and all that. But
Yes.
yeah, I feel like thought he'd be in more.
Was that was Coen Brothers as well? That's right.
Yeah.
That was the miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice
Ballad
this
of Buster
until
Scruggs.
I didn't notice this until after the film. The cast is entirely male.
Yes.
There's no female roles whatsoever. It fails the Bechdel test.
Oh,
They
man.
talk about a female,
Yeah, the wife.
but that's it.
Oh, she got a tombstone.
She got a tune.
Yeah.
And he got buried next to her, but I'm sorry.
Well, someday. Yeah.
Someday he gets buried next to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferment you.
Everyone dies in the end. So other trivia?
This one's boring, but this one's cool. Central and western Oklahoma has noticeable red soil, not seen in this film, which places it in eastern Oklahoma. So we could figure out where it is based on the soil, boys.
Yeah, you could.
This is my backdoor pilot for soil detectives.
The Mexican heritage character is their tracker, which, it is what it is. They had him brushing around in the dirt trying to track where the guy was and where he went and stuff in the film at the beginning. It's pretty common trope. Got to track the guy, you shot him, he runs off. Where did he go? I was going to say, little streams and stuff, that part of the country, yes, rolling hills, it was very accurate. But to suddenly have this little forest patch next to them with these trees that did not necessarily look like they're from that part of the country, I was like,
It's an alternate universe.
I was like, these look like evergreens and not deciduous trees. What the hell's going on?
Dan, it's multiverse is everything now. Pretty soon we'll have the old Henry cinematic universe. The
Well, there you
OHCU.
You could blend it with anything. So
I mean, I feel like this movie totally borrowed the first 15 minutes of No Country for Old Men, right?
Yes.
It's pretty much the same, like where the main characters, does he take the money? Does he not? Does he help the guy who's wounded? And that Mexican guy is totally like Anton.
Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar. Right?
Sugar is
yeah.
way scarier, dude.
Oh, totally.
Sugar is like
Yeah.
having a conversation, scaring some poor shopkeep.
yeah,
Don't put that quarter in your pocket.
That's a Western, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's classified as neo
classical
Western. Yeah, something like that.
Josh Brolin.
Yes, the one real super famous person was it Trey Atkins?
Trace Atkins.
Trace Atkins, country singer, big guy.
Mhm.
He was
Big
he was
guy.
he was the brother-in-law, right? He was the guy.
He did a pretty good job.
He didn't have a whole lot of lines except for the one that you liked towards the end. Do you remember what the line?
Of course
is?
I don't. I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
Is you about to release a hellstorm you want no part of?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the prep for the big fight scene or shoot 'em
man.
out.
Which I'm not counting that as a spoiler because most westerns have a shootout.
Yeah, they do. They always
You gotta.
do. They have to have
Can't
it.
not have a shootout.
It's like how you can't have a Tarantino movie without a Mexican standoff, which is I hope they rename soon.
So if I were to say my favorite Western movie was Wild Wild West, would you hate me?
I wouldn't hate you, but
stop
I
it.
judge you pretty hard.
That's not your favorite.
You know what?
Western.
Let's get to something that Dan is good at, which is beer.
All right. So, well, thanks for hanging in with us, everyone. We're moving into beer, and we're going to talk about the beers we had with Old Henry, this great Western we've been chatting about. We had two really interesting, and I think I would say neither of us had either of them before. None of us had them before.
Correct.
One had just been released that week, which was last week. And the other one, I did not know the brewery made this kind of beer. So great surprises. One was what we call...
For half a second, I thought I misremembered the beers and thought, was it called Great Surprises? I don't remember that.
No.
Wait a minute. Not a bad beer name.
Correct. So the first one was from Wayfinder Brewing, which was actually a collaboration called Barnaby Golden Lager, which is kind of classified as a Pilsner style, and 5.5 ABV.
Yeah.
This is a collaboration that was made in memory of Barnaby Struve, who was one of the past vice presidents of Three Floyds Brewing out of Munster, Indiana, or outside of Chicago. He was known as the champion of outsider.
Nice.
This was, I'm reading off like who the collaborations were on the can, and I was like, holy, what? This is like Modern Times, Three Floyds, Ninkasi, Gigantic, Wayfinder, Boneyard, and Stigbergretz, which is out of Germany. I'd never heard of them, so I had to look them up.
That's a lot of disparate breweries to work together.
So the thing is, they collaborated on the recipe, but each brewery is putting it out with a variation on the logo. The logo has still got the hand. It's got this hand on it, as Wayfinder does creepy, weird logos on all their beers, and it's really good.
Yeah, they do.
But this beer was just like a bright golden color cracker malt, just really classic Pilsner, herbal, floral up front, grassy hop notes, and then just lingered dry and bitter. The whole first half of the film, this fit perfectly with, because you could just sip it.
Yeah.
It's not going to distract. It's just like, wow, this is a really good classic American beer.
Yeah, it was great. Loved it.
And then as the second part of the movie started, I was like, hey, let's bust
The
out the other beer.
psychosexual thriller.
Yes. So props and thumbs up on that first one from
Yeah.
Wayfinder.
Big thumbs up. Big fan.
The second one was from Holy Mountain Brewing up in Seattle, and it's called Munich Style Fest Beer. And I did not know which type of Fest beer this was, which is going to be either a Helles style or a Munich style, which is one is a little bit darker than the other, and this was one that was lighter in color. So it was also really light orange, really nice, small head when we poured it out. Really, it smelled like spicy and greeny and bready, and just had a really nice herbal approach to it, which it should have. It stuck to the style very well.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
They were both really great. I think I preferred the first one over the second one, though.
The first one's a little bit more hoppy. The second
Yeah.
one's more bready and a little bit more solid.
The second one would have been better at a bar that's like overheated to compensate for the cold winter. You walk in still kind of some chill in your bones. You get this Fest beer.
Yeah.
Warms you up.
So both were really crisp. Both were about,
Yeah.
the second one was like 5.8 ABV and 30 IBU. The first one, I couldn't find the IBU on. It wasn't listed anywhere, but recommend either beer. No complaints. They both went really well with the film.
If you are going to watch Old Henry, I think the first one, we're in agreement, will match a bit better. Maybe something half a step up heavier for the back half of the movie.
Yeah. So a nice Pilsner, something crisp and clean,
Yeah.
a little sharp. Maybe the second one, like we said, was a little bit more spicy, a little more malt forward, but also had that floral and herbal thing going on. It was close to being a Pilsner, as most Munich-style Fest beers can be. This uses basically Pilsner malts and adds a few other adjunct or different malts to it and a slightly different type of hop. And it's basically the same kind of beer, but a little different. So it's a Helles, typically more than not.
What do you think they were drinking back in 1906?
Beer.
What kind of beer?
Anything they could get.
Anything they could ferment.
Correct. So back then,
I drink the beer what come out my bathtub.
so they had refrigeration
Oh, they did?
back then.
Okay.
Yes. So the
Fun fact, deer's innards are freezing cold. I'll stop.
they had ice that got brought in on the train. They couldn't obviously do it over horseback or carriage because it would melt.
Right.
They
and the
brought
horse
ice
will
in-
get too cold.
Yes, the ice was brought in via train, and so they had icebox rooms where they could keep things cold. Not all the time, but if it was a big enough town,
Right.
there was a big enough demand for it, they could have it.
I wonder if that's something they tried to plan around. I don't know if they had hunting season. I just realized it probably wasn't that regulated back then.
Probably not.
Don't hunt to
So-
extinction. Do what you want.
Yep.
So this thing called pre-prohibition style lager is 90% of the stuff that was available back then in America. So it's the stuff that is made with adjuncts like corn, because they didn't have a lot of greens back then available.
Right, right.
So you're just going to make whatever, a nice light lager. You're going to cold ferment it because you don't have the ability to keep it at a certain heat. You're just going to let it go cold and let it sit in the basement or someplace and let it do its fermentation. That's what they've been doing for hundreds of years. It works.
And what kind of pre-prohibition beer do you like that's made today?
Isn't there one from not Bearlick?
Bearlick had a pre-pro lager.
They did. Oh, good
Yeah.
for me.
Hey, nice
I
job.
didn't
think it was
remember
Bearlick.
stuff.
Yeah. So they
Randall, when did you get here?
They occasionally get made. They tend to be more like adjunct lagers that you can get, like Coors Light, Bud. Any of those is going to be what it tastes like.
That's probably why I like it.
They're very very basic. Well, so those are going to use more rice than corn.
Okay.
So the Mexican lagers that you like, are very very corn driven are going to be more like to
Nice.
that style. But either way, rice or corn, it doesn't matter.
Interesting. Huh. Oh, I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, it's
man.
interesting how looking at historical beer styles.
Right.
They're all over the map. I actually just tried a historical beer that was based out of Russia that had peas
Oh,
As
wow.
I'm
the
so
bittering
glad there's an
agent.
S at the end of that. I was really worried. Like, Dan, no.
Peas, as in green peas, as the one of the
goodness.
fermentation or one of the bittering agents. They didn't have hops in poor Russia,
Wow.
so they used whatever they had.
Okay. We should do a pre-prohibition and historical film.
We should watch
Yes,
Lawless.
we should totally watch something to go with those.
Right.
Lawless is Prohibition era, but that movie's amazing.
Yeah.
And heavy.
Do we want to say anything else, or should we play a quick game?
Yeah.
What do you think,
I
guys?
could do a game. I'm about knowledged out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's play a little plot keyword rename game.
Oh,
Oh,
there
thank God.
there keywords for this one?
There's keywords for this. You know, Dan, didn't you say how much did this movie make?
Opening weekend only made like $47,000.
I can't. It's so weird.
It's really weird. It like only got released
Yeah.
in like one theater
Wow, that's
or
insane.
one town.
That's not a lot of money, but they have a lot of keywords apparently. So let's pull up some keywords and.
I will need to look at one of your screens. I threw my
I
phone
heard-
across the room because my friend started texting me, and I don't know how to turn the sound. My phone's old, and I can't turn the sound off anymore.
I already got mine, and I liked the first beer a lot.
I-
Which guys did you prefer better, actually, with this movie? What beer was better?
The first one.
The first
I'd
one.
say
I
the
think,
first
too.
one.
Yeah, okay, so let's rename that first one. I'm going to go with just one keyword. Well, it's two words, but it's weapons cache. Spelled CHCHE. No, CACHE.
CACHE,
Weapons
yep.
cache. What about you?
So there was a box that had weapons in it. There
That's
was
right.
a weapons cache.
Right, weapons cache.
There's like murdered with a knife.
All these keywords are aggressive.
There, I mean,
aggressive.
it's a Western film. It's a very aggressive film.
How about Hidden Loot?
Hidden Loot. Ooh, that's a good name for a pre-prohibition beer.
Yeah, definitely.
Hidden Loot.
You got
Oh,
some
I like
booze in that there car? No, spit.
All right. Hidden Loot. Dan, you got one?
Gang of Outlaws.
Gang of
Dang, that's good too.
kind of
This
beer is
is
that?
a gang of outlaws.
yeah,
That
that's a
Pilsner
gang-
can be
yeah.
a gang of outlaws.
Okay.
That works.
Okay.
There's a bunch of other really good ones in here too, but that one caught my eye. Just
Yeah, all the
scrolling through
keywords
list.
are aggressively Western.
Yeah.
You got tuberculosis in there.
Yeah. So to play the
Which I don't think is in the movie.
if you want to play along, go to the IMDb, go to the film or show you're watching. There is, if you scroll about 3/4 of the way down the page, you'll see a little section that has words that have circles around them, and then a number and more. And those are the formerly known as plot keywords. You do go to a page that lists them off, and they're based relatively, they're suggestions by fans who
Yeah.
are members of IMDb, so it's audience driven, and people can rate them. Is this relevant or not? None of these are rated, so these are all very new.
And typically newer movies don't have a whole lot,
Yes.
especially if it's not that well known. Night Teeth had 10.
Yeah, it had like
maybe.
10. This had 54. So somebody spent their time typing a bunch of things in.
Tim Blake Nelson has a lot of alt accounts on
Yeah, he
IMDb.com.
does. Well, it doesn't. I don't know if it shows you who actually.
I don't know.
I don't think it does.
Just give us money, IMDb. We're doing a lot of work for you.
So your favorite beer with whatever movie you're watching, you get to give it an honorary plot keyword name.
Yes.
And I like Hidden Loot a lot. I also like Gang of Thieves.
Yeah.
That's good too. Weapons cache, yeah.
But something with cash in it is really
Cache is good
that's
too,
key.
especially when it's spelled with a C.
Money.
C-A-C-H.
The cash was a important aspect of the film
It
as a
was.
motivational driver for the people that were trying to get it.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Oh, interesting.
Not necessarily the people who were the ones hiding it.
Right. Exactly.
They're like, I don't know. Okay.
What can you buy with all that cash back then? I mean, is there anything to buy?
Because you're going to be asked, where the hell did you get this
Yeah,
first?
like, where-
They're like, what
what are
bank
you
did you
gonna
hold
buy?
up?
Oh man. All right. Well, do we have another movie for the Beard November theme?
It's going to be
November.
December by the time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know if we'll make another one. What's going to
Yeah,
be?
we
What's our
might.
December theme?
I don't know. We can
Well-
think about holiday films because there are a billion of them out
Oh
there,
my
but
gosh.
maybe not.
Or
Maybe we'll-
non-holiday films.
There you go. Because we've already did Gremlins, which is the
Yep,
most
yep.
Christmas film ever, other than
Die Hard.
Die Hard, which we haven't done yet. Maybe we should do a
Oh.
non-Christmas oriented Christmas film
like-
because that's the one everybody loves.
Yeah.
Right,
I do have an
right.
honorary Beard movie to say if you want to watch something else.
Right.
The second Edgar Wright Cornetto trilogy film, Hot Fuzz, has a somewhat running gag where they
Yes.
talk about the previous police sergeant. They say, he had something you don't, Sergeant. A great big bushy beard. And they keep repeating that later in the film.
Yes.
Right.
And then skeleton has a great big bushy beard.
Yes. The other one that we were going to watch was the Western, was The Harder They Fall, but it was too long. It's like
It
a
looks
2-hour
amazing, but you got to carve out like 2 to 3 hours.
film. Yeah, that's a
long
long
time.
one. So we will get back around to that one, not for this event, because we
might,
don't have that long to watch it.
I might check out Shout Studios' Teenage Vampire.
I'm in.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find it. It may not be available online. It may
just
just be one
came
of
out.
those films that's out there somewhere. We're like,
Being passed around on
my
bootleg
gosh.
DVD.
Seriously, they used to do that. There was a whole underground movement for bootleg DVDs out there. I'm telling you, back in the day.
Transmorphers, Avengers in like broken Esperanto.
Yeah.
Hey, they did one with Will Arnett called Memory Hole. Is it, maybe it's a host. Oh, he says hosted by. Oh, it's on Quibi. Wasn't that that was that weird little?
Quibi.
Those are like
Those are gone
3
now,
minute.
right?
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are like 3-minute films.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
made specifically for watch on your phone,
Yes.
Right.
and it went down faster than CISO, which I'm still sad about.
Oh,
Yeah, that's too bad.
All right.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. As always, the opinions expressed during the taping of this recording are those of the hosts, and you should definitely hydrate.
If you don't hydrate, you're gonna dehydrate.
You know it. So
Bang, 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 bang.
find some interesting beers to watch with this great film. You could do Pilsners, lighter stuff, or something hoppy. It's up to you, but we prefer the Pilsner activity. Really enjoyed it. I think 3 big thumbs up on the film.
Oh,
Yeah.
And, well, this is Dan signing out. Thanks for hanging in there and listening.
Blake says, later, y'all.
This is Randall saying, "Yeehaw."
Yeehaw. All right. Take care, everyone.